It's the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia, with your host, Bob Snap.
Hi guys, welcome to the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia. Thank you so much for being here. Today's video is a bit different, but it's on someone that we all know and love from the Andy Griffith Show. John Masters, the choir director, played by Olan, Soule. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Anyway, he goes from being a mild-mannered Mayberry choir director to the Batman. Let's see what it's about. You don't have to be a He-Man to play Batman. Hollywood has rubber suits to give actors those chiseled abs. Heck, Michael Keaton usually shifted gears from Beetlejuice to Bruce Wayne. But it might surprise you that the actor who portrayed Batman for 15 years from 1968 to 83 was best known as a scrawny nerd on TV. Illinois native Olan Soule spoke with a smooth, sonorous voice that Belly just built. He started his career in radio, where his musculature hardly mattered. Soule landed a major role on the radio program Captain Midnight, about a World War II superhero who was a blend of Batman, Sergeant Rock, Flash Gordon, and Steve Cannon. Over the radio, Soule played Agent Kelly, SS-11, a member of Captain Midnight's secret squadron, helping the hero's slug Axis baddies. However, when Captain Midnight made the leap to television in 1954, the slim Soule couldn't fill the same role. Instead, he played Dr. Aristotle Tut Jones, a bespectacled scientist in a lab coat. Tut turned up in commercials for Ovaltine, too. Didn't take long for Soule to get shoehorned into the stock geek with glasses role. Heck, on Dragnet, he seemingly wore the same wardrobe playing forensic scientist Ray Pinker. Ray Pinker also happened to be a real-life forensic pioneer in L.A. It wasn't long before he was firmly typecast, on screen at least. If you needed a guy who looked like Mr. Peepers, but thought Wally Cox was too studly, Soule was your man. Lesser known than New Breed, a 1961 cop show, he was another lab technician. So when the Andy Griffith Show needed to fill the role of John Masters, the cardigan-wearing choir director and sometimes hotel clerk, they turned to Soule. Made his first appearance in Barney and the Choir and popped up in 4 more episodes between 63 and 64. Around the same time, he could be seen as a county clerk on Perry Mason. As the 60s progressed, Soule continued to appear here and there on shows as pencil pushers, doctors, clerks, and other brainy bureaucratic sorts. He was even the go-to guy if you wanted to sell prune juice. Meanwhile, Filmation, an upstart animation studio, was starting to make a name for itself on television as a competitor to Hanna-Barbera. The cartoon house would later become best known for thriftily budgeted adaptations like the Archies and Star Trek, the animated series. But its big breakthrough came thanks to Superman. The New Adventures of Superman premiered in 1966 and brought the iconic Kryptonian to Saturday mornings. It proved to be so popular that Filmation wrangled other DC characters like Aquaman, the Flash, the Atom, and Green Lantern, all of whom appeared on the Superman-Aquaman Hour adventure. The big name missing from that bunch, of course, was Batman, who was busy entertaining folks in a hit live-action series with Adam West under the cowl. But come 1968, the Batman television series had run its course. ABC canceled the show, which gave Filmation the chance to jump on the rights and bring an animated Batman to CBS. Funnily enough, in one of the early 1968 episodes of the Adventures of Batman cartoon, Filmation mistakenly put an ABC logo in an animated background, which aired on CBS. The suits at CBS flipped, and Filmation had to go back and draw in a replacement CBS logo for subsequent airings. Whoops. That brings us to the casting of Batman. Filmation had a history of hiring comedy actors to portray its DC heroes, Ted Knight from the Mary Tyler Moore and Pat Harrington Jr. One Day at a Time, provided the voices of Green Lantern and Atom, respectively, for example. When it came time to find a Cape Crusader, Filmation utilized the oldest method in Hollywood: connections, connections, connections. Marvin Miller, who's best known as the voice of Robbie the Robot, like so many actors of his era, first rose through the ranks of radio. One of his first gigs was portraying Mr. First Nighter, a dapper and sophisticated theater enthusiast who was the fictional host of the First Nighter program. Each episode had Mr. First Nighter donning his tuxedo and attending the opening of some stage performance, which was then played out by a regular cast of actors. The anthology series typically dipped into the genre of romantic comedy. From 1943 onward, Olan Soule worked as the male lead. So Miller, who was working as the voice of Aquaman for the Filmation, recommended his old colleague Soule for the role of Batman. Lou Scheimer, the co-founder of Filmation, fell in love with his voice. I loved Olan's voice. He was just a wonderful guy, truly talented. When you saw him, you were surprised because he sounded 10 feet tall, but this little guy with glasses. Scheimer wrote in his book, Lou Scheimer Creating the Filmation Generation, and he was gracious. He had never done an animated show before, and I think he was a little startled when he found out how easy the work was. Voice actors don't have to memorize anything. No wonder Soule settled into the role. He continued to voice Batman throughout the 70s and into the early 80s, as the character joined Super Friends and jumped to another animated company, Hanna-Barbera. From 1984 to 85, he voiced his final character in animation. The character turned up in both Super Friends, the legendary Super Power Show, and Super Power Team Galactic Guardians. He was not Batman. No, he was Professor Martin Stein. Sometimes not even Batman can escape the overwhelming power of the stereotype. And there you go. It's a little bit long, I know, but I found this very interesting. I mean, I already knew that I did a video on this before where he was Batman, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into it, a little deeper dive, and to see exactly what he did before, and the radio stuff, and especially the show that jumped from radio to TV, and he had to switch characters because of the way he looked. I just found that funny, and I think he's a great actor. I always liked him on the Andy Griffith Show. I always thought he did an excellent job. But can you imagine working all those years just voiceovers on cartoons or whatever, and never have to memorize the thing? Just read it right off the thing. I want that job. You see how hard trouble I have here. I don't have to memorize anything here either. I want that job. It pays better. Anyway, that's all I have for you. Classic rock and country music facts and trivia be back on Monday, as will the Beverly Hillbillies facts and trivia. Classic TV facts and trivia will be up and running today, so go over there and check that out. And Faith and Entertainment, I'll be recommending another faith-based movie, so if you want to go over there and check that out. And it's a really good one today that you got to see if you're into that type of movie. So make sure you go over there and check it out. Please subscribe. If you need a link to it, hit me up in the comments and I'll shoot it to you. Please like this video if you don't mind. You guys have a great Saturday. God bless you, and I'm praying for you.